Captain's Log Supplemental. Ever since the Voyager incident, these Intrepid-class ships, they've got hollow emitters on every deck, every main area, and just in case the EMH needs to get somewhere. And it's really great. It's really beneficial. However, unfortunately, the hollow emitters are acting up on every deck. There's some kind of central issue that is being worked on, and we can't shut down the hollow emitters because the doctor is currently working on some kind of thing in medical that he needs the EMH for. So, look, it's not a big deal, but for whatever reason, the hollow emitters have decided that everyone needs to look like the same actor from the late 20th, early 21st century by the name of Nicolas Cage. And it's very, very distracting. I don't even know what to do anymore.
Welcome to Captain's Log Supplemental. I am Chris, and as always, I'm joined by my friends Stanford and Rob.
Hey there.
And Rob.
Oh no, we lost Rob.
Did we lose Rob?
Hello? No, I'm here.
Now we can hear you. We couldn't hear you.
Yeah, we
at
didn't
all.
hear you before. Yep. So there's Rob and producer Mariah.
Hi there.
How are y'all doing today?
Pretty good. So Mariah and I watched a movie 2 nights ago, and I had not seen this movie. It is a little ditty by the name of Face Off. That may
You've
have
never
been
seen Face Off before?
That may have been one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
It is so classic, like bad good Nick Cage movie. Like, you know what I mean?
See?
Like,
yes, bad good Nick Cage movie.
It's so apparently there's this concept of the trifecta of like Nick Cage movies from that era, which is like it's Face Off, Con Air, and The Rock, right?
oh my god.
Now
Yeah.
I've seen
Good.
The
So
Rock
good.
and Con Air several times each. They are also not good movies, to be clear.
You shut your whore
Oh,
mouth.
come on. They're fun.
But, well, I already have a distaste for Sean Connery anyways, so like that's gonna really hurt The Rock's
Matthew
opinion.
is just no fun.
But
is.
sorry, I just don't like hitting women because they need to know their place. That's just not my.
That's not what I
my
meant.
philosophy. But I would rather watch both of those movies twice in a row than this fucking movie again. Face Off was goddamn atrocious.
Look, it is bad good, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
The entire time I'm like, oh, Face Off. Oh, I get it. Hey, it's funny because
literally.
I have survived as an internet child, like, and in a 90s kid and an early 2000s, a teenager and stuff. So I did know the general premise of the movie, but like, why did we go to a high-tech prison in the middle of it? That had nothing to do with anything.
Because it was cool. Shut the fuck up.
Because it was, how's he possibly going to escape this?
God, ridiculous. And I forgot, because I haven't seen him in a while, that John Travolta cannot act.
Yeah, I do have to agree with you there.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like he was in so many things in the 90s, I forgot that he's just
Really
not an actor. Like he's just kind of him.
He was in
Yeah.
a ton of movies and then just disappeared.
Yeah, until he pronounced Idina Menzel's name wrong on in that one award show. That was the last thing I heard from him.
Is Idina Menzel the actor that my cousin knows, honey?
No, Idina Menzel is the singer who sings in Frozen.
Frozen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
wasn't
he
she
knows
on
the
Broadway?
woman- No, he knows the woman from the waitress. What's her name? Crap.
Sorry, I didn't realize there were so many instances of my random family member knows this famous person for you, Stanford.
Well, my cousin Peter, who I love very
Peter.
much.
He knows Sarah Bareilles.
Oh, that's right, Sarah
okay.
Sarah
Bareilles.
Bareilles.
Yeah, Bareilles.
That's the fucking what song is she famous for? I
Mhm.
can't remember it.
Write me a love song. Write you a love song?
No.
Isn't that her?
Oh, it's Pink Pony Club, I'm pretty sure.
God, shut
Oh,
the
God.
fuck up.
So, anyways, no, my cousin Peter, he is a writer
Love
for
song, yeah.
Yeah,
Is
love
that what
songs.
it is?
Yeah.
Is that what the name? I guess I never realized that's what the name of the song was.
But he's a writer for Broadway, so like he knows a lot of people who are Broadway adjacent.
Gotcha.
That is his day job, and it's kind of awesome. So, anyways, yeah, Face Off, not a great movie. Doesn't hold up. There's a lot more like sexual harassment and sexual assault than you're expecting.
No, it was expected.
It was 1997.
It was the 90s.
I was gonna say, do you remember the '90s movies?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, Chris, I don't know, and Rob, I don't know how recently you've watched this, but even the like special effects in quotes, it was like in the airplane hangar scene and where they're shooting at each other, and this one guy like gets blown back, but you already see the cords he's attached to before he gets blown away, and then they cut back to him getting thrown back, and they're not even trying to hide them.
And my issue is like this movie was like crap, but like it's a year after Independence Day, which had great effects and like good storytelling and stuff.
So like that was the
Yeah,
fun part of the '90s, right? Like you had movies like Jurassic Park that meshed practical effects with computer effects like perfectly, right? It's a classic, still looks great to this day. And then you have movies like Face Off where they're like, yeah, we can do that in post, and then they proceed to just not do anything with it and hope nobody notices.
And I like how, spoilers for this 30-year-old movie, I like how, like, the bad guy blows up the doctor's office where they have the top secret face-off facility, right? Like that no one else could possibly do. And that's not a hyperbole. That's what happens. But then at the end of the movie, they're like, well, we just got some other surgeons that could just take care of it. You'll be fine. And yeah, it's just fucking stupid. What a stupid movie.
Yeah. Well, and I was telling Matthew, we were talking about it, and I don't know, it was just, there wasn't quite the, high stakes movie like that, I feel like. And plus it was summer, and I just remember going to the movie theaters a lot. I was in high school, so of course I saw that. And Matthew's like, look at all these other better movies that came out in 97. And I was like, yeah, and I went to go see those as well.
Man, this is like Liar Liar was in the theater still, The Fifth Element. Like there were so many good movies out.
No one watched
the
The Fifth
same
Element,
weekend.
but
Most
but do you also know that movie was like almost 3 hours long?
Wait, which one?
Face Off. It's
Face
like 2
Off.
hours and 20 minutes.
Oh my god.
That would have been
far too long.
that would have been a 2 VHSer back in the day.
Oh yeah. See, I was dating. That's why I saw this movie. I was dating. Titanic was out. I went to see that. Like, I was devil's advocate. I was seeing all sorts of shit. Yeah. So I was going out on dates in the summer. It was hot. There was air conditioning in the theaters. We didn't have much to do in Kentucky.
Anyways,
Face Off was awesome.
Having seen this, I am no longer surprised that Mission Impossible 2 was the very worst of the Mission Impossible movies.
That's
because
what
that is
I was trying to
also
remember
John
to tell
Woo.
Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to watch the Mission Impossible movies again.
They're all
Just skip
they're
the
all
second one.
great except for the second one. It's
Yeah,
so
just skip the
fucking
second
bad. It's horrible. It's like someone went with Mission Impossible and it was like, you know what? Let's do Face Off in the middle of this series, and then we'll go back to Mission Impossible.
Oh man, fantastic.
So what you got, Chris? You said you got something.
Oh, it's funny. I was at the kids had a little like get together for their birthday today, and we're talking to one of the moms there, who I've decided is like the most interesting person. She's Irish. Her husband's Italian.
Like straight up from Italy, from Ireland?
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Crazy.
they like met in college over here like 19 years ago, and like they've lived here ever since. But
At Mizzou, I assume?
yeah.
Huh.
I learned two things. One, her husband's a Roman archaeologist, so like he'll spend like 6 to 8 weeks at a time digging up like this old Roman town outside of Rome, like, and has been for 19 years.
It sounds like the second thing is going to be like, and I'm stooping his wife.
No, gross.
Oh,
But like not because I would never do that because I'm a stand-up individual and I love my wife.
She could stupper too.
But also, we got to talking about they're going to be spending some time in Italy later on this year, and the kind of hang-ups that Italians have on air conditioning is kind of hilarious. Because there's no air conditioners there like built into the house is one, because obviously a lot of them are older, but even like new builds, they're not putting them in either.
Yeah, because it's a peninsula, it's a skinny peninsula inside one of the largest bodies of water on the planet. Like, it's not going to get that hot.
It gets very hot, apparently.
Yeah, I'm sure it does now. Global warming.
Well, especially now. Man,
that's the tropical part of Europe. Like,
yeah,
it's fucking hot there.
It gets very hot there, but there is this like kind of like old superstition about like air, like cold air bursts there. Like they will tell you their kids not to run around so they don't get sweaty and get sick from like air blowing on their bodies.
It's almost like the Asian culture's thing with fans and getting wet.
Oh yeah,
and stuff,
in Korea.
Yes.
It's not just Korea. It's pretty much all of Eastern Asia believes that it's a cultural lock syndrome is what they call it. But like, there's this superstition that like fans, if a fan is running in a room too long, it will like deplete all of the good air and you will die.
Yeah, and exactly, and they don't trust the air that like comes out of conditioners. They think it's bad for you. So like she'll be like in their room or whatever in this house they're staying at her parents' house, her husband's parents' house, and like we'll have like all these fans pointed at them, and then the parents give them shit about it because they don't they're gonna get sick.
That's why the Irish are. That's why her parents are like. This is why the Irish suck, because they got this fake air pointing at them all the time.
Anyway, I thought that was incredibly funny.
Do they have kids like your kids' age then?
Yes, yeah. One of their sons is friends with the boys.
Their son must have had a wild accent for a while.
He was born here. He's So
sure. By now, it's just American, right?
Yeah, I say I can't. Like, I haven't heard him talk much, but like, I don't really pick up much of an accent from him.
Because I assume he's got like the dad's got an Italian accent, the mom's got an Irish accent.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was.
Did we ever tell you what happened to Kelsey because of her parents' accents?
What do you mean?
So her dad is from New England, right, Rhode Island, and her mom is from the UK, Manchester. She got called into, was it a guidance counselor, Mariah, or was it like a speech?
So Russ's accent is actually Norristown.
Well, Rob's kind of being nice. Russ's accent is New England, Rhode Island into Norristown, and then Mum's accent is someone from Manchester who also grew up in Germany. So like,
well, that's a hot mess.
Yeah.
So Kelsey got pulled in this counselor's office, and
it was speech therapy. They said she needed speech therapy.
Okay, yeah.
Because she didn't speak right, and she'd put U's in words.
Because
apparently she didn't know how to use R's correctly. I wonder why.
They told her that she had a speech impediment, and then I guess like they had a conference with the speech therapist, and the speech therapist heard
they
them
called
talk.
my mother.
Oh, they called.
They called my mother,
and they were
she got angry, and they could hear then where the accent was coming from.
I imagine your mom got angry and went full German, like.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Well. Yeah. Before we get into the episode, as a reminder, please rate, review, subscribe, do all those things. Send us emails. We'll read them. Send us just tear us apart if you must. But we would much prefer giving us 5 stars because we are 5-star people. For those that are uninitiated, we are a Star Trek Rewatch podcast, and we are going through in chronological order of the entire series. Currently, we are in Discovery, Episode 8, Season 1. Si vis pacem para Bellum, because they didn't already have enough Latin titles for the first season of Discovery. We went with a whole nother one.
Is it Vis?
It is Vis. I specifically looked how to pronounce this up.
Is like, because I thought it was like Veni Vidi Vici. Is that not the same? I guess that
is. So it is the same, but it's commonly mispronounced. It's Weni Weenie Weechi.
Yeah, because that sounds stupid, so I understand why it's mispronounced.
So this is actually also apparently the 9th Star Trek episode to have a Latin title. There was Dramatis Personae Sub Rosa, Ex Post Facto, Non Sequitur, Alter Ego, Inter Arma Enim Silent Legis, Terra Nova, Vox Sola, and then this one. So yeah,
Lots of Enterprise in there.
Yeah, I know, right? There was more than I was expecting.
It never would have occurred to me that alter ego was Latin because, like, those words are so Americanized, Anglican anymore. That because I know non sequitur, that's obviously a Latin phrase, but alter ego is oh yeah, I guess that would be Latin, huh?
And I had mentioned last episode that it was only the second.
Are these
episode
fun facts? What are we doing here?
Yes, these are fun facts.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What fucking goddamn. Okay. When there's some trivia you can't miss, it's a fun fact. Wait, Chris.
As I was saying, I had mentioned last episode that it was only the second episode since, or the first episode since Encounter at Farpoint to not have a cold open, and they followed it up with a whole other episode without a cold open this time.
Yep, it's like cold open, recap, opening. All right.
Yeah. So right after the recap, we get immediate pew-pews.
My first note is pew pew.
Exactly. Apparently the USS Gagarin is under attack by several Klingon ships. Discovery jumps in to help the ship, but then another Klingon ship uncloaks. It's like a destroyer. So there's kind of some fun battle scenes. We get the classic shield countdown. It's holding at 70%, 50%, 30%.
I don't know why, but this whole scene felt very unexciting. I don't know what was wrong with it, but it just didn't feel interesting. It felt kind of just rote. I don't know if the music wasn't spooled up properly or the sound effects weren't good. I don't know. It just felt very bland.
Maybe. I think part of it was, just this random, US Federation ship that's kind of, in danger that we don't know anything about. So I get what you're saying.
I kind of wonder if it's supposed to be I wonder if it's supposed to be like that. I wonder if they intentionally made it seem like this is something they're doing on the regular now because that's their job as Discovery with the Spore Drive is to jump in and save ships that are in danger.
I don't like that explanation because it makes them sound more competent than I feel like they are. So, as writers.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, there are just too many Klingon ships, and they are unable to save the Gagarin, which explodes after taking some torpedoes from the Klingons. They quickly jump out, and we cut to engineering, where Stamets seems very out of it. He after he disconnects from the system, he calls Tilly the captain.
Dude, that is some great foreshadowing.
Yeah, that's fair. He then tries to cover for his spaciness by just snapping at Tilly.
Throwing a fucking hissy fit like a little bitch. Right. Jesus Christ, damn it.
Yeah, he's being a real big dick about it. We cut to a little holo call here with the Vulcan Admiral guy who is chatting with Lorca. He refers to this mission on Pavo that they're on and how important it is. Then we get to see Bellum, Ash, and Saru, who are the away team on this Pavo planet, which is quite scenic, very pretty.
Yeah, and it's not going to be that bad because there was no red shirt on the mission with them.
Right. Yeah, there's some crystal tower thing that they want to use to kind of act as some type of sensor somehow.
I guess I don't know. This whole setup was this planet vibrate because Burnham's given her fucking her narration, right? And she's there's this sound, everything from this planet vibrates with a certain sound frequency that will help us to detect the clone. What the fuck are you talking about? You can't, okay, I don't know who needs to know this at Star Trek, but you can't discover a new frequency. It's math. We know all of the frequencies already because it's just math. What is the planet doing?
So stuff. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay. I apologize. Never mind.
You can use crystals in electronics Like they use them today.
No, I
to,
understand that, but like they specifically are talking about frequency emissions, okay? We already know all of the frequencies of things because that's just math. And what she was talking about wasn't the crystals themselves. She said specifically the frequencies of the sounds were unique to the planet. That doesn't make any sense.
How about you shut up?
Why not?
Because we already would have had those frequencies because it's sound. Like we
Right.
already know all of them. What are we learning here? What are we discovering here?
So like you can use light to detect the frequencies of chemicals in atmospheres, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
So-
spectrography.
Sure. So maybe this one just has a frequency of, combined elements that is different than every other
No,
planet they found.
she said sound. It's a frequency of sound. Everything on the planet emits sound.
Your mom emits sound.
Sounds really just radiation.
It sounds like Rob's apparently turned into a crazy crystal person. Rob's just clutching his quartz right now.
The chakras are on the line. It's
Chakras.
It's amethyst.
Oh, pardon me. I think I've got, don't I have wait, I've got one here. What is, I've got a malachite. Is this malachite, honey? I don't remember. I have some kind of iron thing here. I don't think it's malachite. It's some kind of green iron thing that she got me.
Remember?
Bitch,
Liam
you don't
has the
remember my
amethyst.
crystals? I have an amethyst in our bedroom because Mariah and I have been doing
Liam
this.
has an amethyst.
Yeah, he does as well. I have one. Yeah, Mariah and I have this weird, like, Cold War crystal gifting policy where we keep giving each other more elaborately ridiculous crystal gifts.
That's silly. So anyway, we get some kind of discourse here between the away team. We learn for definitely no reason at all that won't come up later in the episode that Kelpians can run 80 kilometers per hour. We also find out that Saru is very affected by the noise the planet emits. He apparently bothers him a lot and doesn't bother the humans at all.
I guess they can't, like, get him some noise canceling headphones or some shit.
Nope. Just some yeah. Soon after that, some like mist forms in front of him, and Saru just seems to know that it wants them to accompany it somewhere. So he's like, "Yeah, let's just follow this random mist that formed in front of us."
Because if Saru's ganglia don't come out, he's like, everything's totally cool forever.
Yep, that's it. After that, we cut to the Klingons, where Laurel and that giant douche Cole chat. Cole wants her to interrogate some prisoner.
Well, Laurel's like, she's like, give me a chance, coach. I want to torture someone. Put me in.
Yeah. It's I assume at this time that it's the Admiral, and it was, but right after that we get back to Pavo, where the mist brings them to some just random hut out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, the blue dust people have a tent for some reason.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Saru tries to kind of talk to the mist, because at this point they've kind of identified the mist as sentient. They have to get the mist to agree to let them use the planet now because of General Order 1 or whatever it is.
Well, so actually there's kind of an interesting mix-up among the writers here because they're like, because one of them, I think Ash was like, Order 1 says that we can't do this. And I think Burnham was like, no, Order 1 prevents us from revealing ourselves to beings who aren't warp capable. That's actually not what the Prime Directive says. The Prime Directive says we don't interfere with any other cultures. The not revealing ourselves to beings who aren't warp capable is like a subsection of that Prime Directive.
Yeah. So anyway, they say, well, cat's out of the bag anyway, so we just got to get them to agree to let us use the planet. That's fine. We get back to the Klingon ship where the Admiral is in the chair. We see just a lovely torture device rack.
Laurel and her rack of stuff.
Yeah.
Wheels in on some squeaky wheels.
Yeah, Laurel tells the Admiral to yell at her, and so she just gets in her face and starts yelling at her till she yells back, which was, I don't know if it was supposed to be funny, but it was.
I thought it was funny.
It was hilarious.
It was, however, it was a ruse. Laurel wants the to talk to the admiral, kind of without the Klingon guards in the hallway listening. Because I guess after they hear them yelling at each other, the guards are like, "Yep, that seems right."
The guards laughed too, so yeah.
Yeah.
We then get back to Pavo, where Ash and Burnham are talking to each other. They kind of talk about what they're going to do after the war.
Some exposition.
Yep. Burnham mentions that I'm gonna go back to prison after the war. So,
but for some reason the writers felt the need to like turn that like the needs of the many speech into like a cute little flirty line here.
Right? Yeah, because Ash is
weird.
like, we just leave the transmitter as it is. We don't have to do this. Like as a flirt, I guess. Yeah, it was weird. They then make out a little bit. And we cut to Discovery, where Tilly confronts Stamets in the cafeteria about his state of mind.
Tilly's the best, and she used the word persnickety.
Yeah.
This was really endearing.
Yeah. Stamets tries to kind of dismiss her and shoo her away, but she does not give up. Eventually, Stamets informs Tilly of the disorientation he is experiencing. Mentions he can't tell Culber because of the position it'll put Culber in. Kind of a no positive outcome for him either way. If he tells him so. I don't have it in my notes. I felt like something else happened in this conversation, but I guess that was it.
No, that was pretty much it. It's just a little time fill.
Yeah. Back with the Klingons, Laurel says she wishes to defect to the Federation and wants to specifically go to Discovery.
Which seems a little suspicious, if I'm honest.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean,
like if you're going to defect, it's like, I want to defect by going to your super top secret
top
weapon.
Secret. Yeah, right.
It's like, oh, right, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely 100% totally real defection.
It's like if a German was like, I want to defect and work on the Manhattan Project, please. Like, no.
Saru says, back on Papa, Saru says the life form is the planet itself.
They've been hotboxing all night with the blue dust people.
Unsure if they're unsure if the transmitter was built by like the planet creatures itself or something else, but Saru is apparently exhausted, but also can't sleep from all the noise still going on.
So this is actually, I don't know that this was necessarily intentional. Probably not. But it is kind of interesting to think about the fact that, like, it is very possible that Saru's species doesn't have the, like, get used to the background noise reflex that we do.
Yeah.
Because, like, we just get used to noises eventually, and then we just don't really hear them anymore. But maybe his species doesn't. And that's actually kind of interesting. Like, that's an interesting concept. But they don't really explore it or anything. They just kind of use it here. But I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then Saru gets to go Super Saiyan.
Yeah, so eventually he kind of wakes up to speak with the Pavans, and a little fun fact here. The original transporter sound effect from the cage is utilized for the noise that happens when he wakes up, which is just such a weird noise to put in there.
Yeah, well, sound engineers don't have a lot else to do.
Yeah.
Just trying to find places to put Wilhelm screams in.
Mm-hmm. He communes with the mist people thing creature whatever, and we get kind of some flashbacks of all the terrible scary shit that Saru's gone through. We then cut to the morning where Saru is acting very weird and claims to have contacted the captain.
He's getting so fucking creepy.
Yeah,
it was.
He's like, yes, and I just need to see your communicators for no reason. It's fine. Just give me your communicators. And then they do, and he immediately crushes them in his hand. And
this is one of those times where it's like, oh shit, Saru is strong as fuck. Like, you don't really get a sense of that until right now.
Yeah, you don't. He then informs them that the Pavans have invited them to stay, and everything will be hunky-dory and amazing. So they're staying, apparently, according to Saru.
And he, like, creepily holds their necks.
Yeah. Yeah. So after Saru leaves, Burnham and Ash argue kind of about how to proceed. Ash kind of pulls rank on her because, he has a rank and she doesn't. And so this is what we're doing. back on, although we don't know what specifically it is they're going to do yet. Back on the Klingon ship, L'Rell and Admiral Cornwall put on a show for Cole when he finds them kind of in the hallway chatting. And L'Rell just basically busts Cornwall's ass.
Yeah, L'Rell can actually fight. It's kind of cool to watch.
Yeah. And I assume Cornwall is knocked out at this point, although like she doesn't wake up the rest of the episode, so I don't know. Back on Pavo, Ash questions kind of Saru about why the noise doesn't bother her anymore. And kind of what he went through there. Ash talks about how he wants to make all the Klingons suffer for making him suffer, and how he wants revenge and all that. Saru has him touch some like green stone thing, which I guess
crystals, baby.
Yeah,
yeah. Hey, Rob, can you give us a little information about what this crystals does?
No.
See,
yeah. So
he's keeping the secrets, right? That's how crystal people stay strong.
It's true. I do have a store.
Apparently, this greenstone tells Saru that Ash was trying to distract Saru, and was deceiving him. And he gets just a skosh mad about it.
Saru goes Super Saiyan for the second time.
Yeah, he gets real mad and storms off after to find Burnham, who is at the kind of the transmitter tower thing.
She's just gonna plug a fucking computer into the crystal. And like, joke's on me, it works. But like
meanwhile, Saru is just fucking booking it towards
fucking
Burnham.
CGI running Saru was the stupidest.
Yeah, he's going fast. Back on the Klingon ship, Royal finds some of her dead friends, I assume. Or they were her friends.
Excuse you, sir. And actually, I would like to take this moment of silence to remember Grafk, Torath, and Silrek.
She did say their names. That's hilarious.
Names we've never fucking heard before.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh no, Grafk.
Yeah, and she swears vengeance on Cole at this point because she killed her friends that apparently meant a whole lot to her.
The next time we play a game that lets us put names in, we're being Grafk, Torak, and Silrek.
Back on Pavo, Saru gets to the communicator thing in Burnham and just fucking chucks Burnham around.
Yeah, he does.
Just starts just punching the shit out of that
and
computer.
Then kicked her with that fucking hoof of his.
Yeah.
He fucking donkey kicked her.
Yeah, he did. Eventually, Burnham manages to shoot him a couple times with the phaser stun setting, which doesn't do a lot.
I was like, shit, how many shots is Boramiru here gonna take?
The Mist shows up, which is apparently capable of just transporting matter, because fucking Ash just pops right out of the mist.
I was like, what the fuck?
We don't talk about that at all. This
is after Burnham defeats Saru's Super Saiyanness with logic and speeches.
Yeah, I mean, did he though? Because it looked like he was about to start punching again.
I don't fucking know. There was a lot of camera work that's making this speech sound real important, but then Ash just shows up out of fucking nowhere.
Right. Yeah, literally out of nowhere. He just pops right out of that mist.
I also have Jesus Saru. Don't be a little bitch. I'm guessing wasn't he crying at one point?
Yeah, because he was so scared all the time. Burnham, pleads the case with Saru, trying to or while Saru tries to convince like the Pavans not to help them with their situation with the Klingons. It apparently decided to help as Lorca comes over comms to let them know that he got their signal. Saru continues to plead and whine about not helping them with the signal thing or whatever, but they eventually get beamed up back to Discovery. In the sickbay, Burnham comes to see Saru. Burnham kind of tries to give him an out for saying, oh, you just weren't yourself. You're being not controlled, but affected by the noise of the Pavans and whatnot. But he says, nope, that was me. That was all me.
Yep, he just gets in a quick speech here while on the sickbed. Yep.
Yeah, he says he's never known a moment without fear, not until Pavo, and he wanted to hold on to that.
It's weird that he's so manipulative. Like, it's very uncharacteristic.
Yeah. So on the Klingon ship, Laurel tells Cole some basic info about, Discovery and whatnot, and tries to convince him to accept her. And he paints her face like I guess she's being welcomed, but then also says that he saw through her deceit.
Yeah, I didn't really get what was the point of the ceremony of the painting?
I don't know either.
Stop being a bitch, anyways. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I didn't get that. But right as that was happening, some Klingon says they detected a massive signal from Pavo.
And that message was an invitation. And if anyone knows anything about Klingons, it's like they're real fighty, but they also do not turn down invitations. They fucking love parties. Yeah,
that's true. Yep. So back on Discovery, they detect the Klingon ship warping in. We figure out, the Pavans must have invited the Klingons to the party. The ship of the dead shows up, and that is the end of the episode.
So Starfleet is pissed because the Pavans are like, well, obviously these two races are at war and we need to make them peaceful, so we're gonna make them sit down and talk. I find it funny that Starfleet is pissed that like an alien race decided to meddle in their conflict and like force them to try to come to a diplomatic agreement when like, what is that, 20 or 30% of all Star Trek episodes are Starfleet doing exactly that?
Yeah, but we're doing it, so shut up. Well, on a scale of 1 to 5, where 0 is, threshold, or what silver linings, or whatever the fuck that one's called.
Silver lining. It's funny that Silver Linings is weirdly close to Shades of Grey. Like, you're not
Shades of Grey.
You're not wrong.
There it is. Shades of Grey. But yeah, 1 to 5. Where are you guys at?
Rob, do you want to go first, or do you want me to shit on it first?
Well, no, actually, I wasn't a huge fan of this one. I gave it a 2. Like, it just feels like the B plot was not that great, and I don't know. I liked all the stuff with Laurel and Cornwell. That was all great.
Okay, because I thought that's what the B plot was. What's the B plot?
Yeah, what B plot are you talking about?
I thought that the B plot was like
the away mission.
Planet.
No, that's A plot, baby.
That's the A plot, man.
Okay, well, the A plot was very weak then. I was more interested in the B plot than I was the A plot. Yeah, everything with Laurel and Cornwell was really great. The rest of the episode was kind of meh. I gave it a 2. Like it felt like it was made just to set up the following episode.
Yeah, and
I usually don't really enjoy those kind of episodes.
So I also gave it a 2, mostly because it just wasn't good. The Laurel and Admiral stuff is fine, but that's ongoing plot. Like that narrative is just kind of feeding the ongoing narrative, which is fine. But like the primary plot here was poorly told. It was extraordinarily contrived with the whole Saru and the sound and the dust people controlling his brain somehow or whatever. It was just silly. It was just not. It felt like they're like, well, we're 8 episodes in. We need to do a real away mission episode. That's what this felt like. And it just wasn't well done.
Yeah, I was also 2 for it. Like, I just, like nothing happened, really. Like, things happened, but, like, nothing interesting happened at all. And, like, you also had, like, I guess you'd call it the C plot of, like, Stamets and Tilly, which got, like, a couple scenes. But, like, yeah, it's just not much really happened.
Yeah.
And, like, it wasn't like, it wasn't the worst ever, but also it was just not good.
IMDb gave it a 3.
I can't believe they gave this episode and the last episode both a 3. That's crazy to me.
They've gone 3 for the last 5 episodes. Yeah.
The last episode was so much better.
Yeah, so much better.
Now, to be fair, their Raw was a 6.8, but on this episode and a 7.5 on the previous episode. But there's a spread for Discovery. That,
sure.
Like changes the general. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
All right. Well, when we come back, we'll do a little deep dive. Welcome back, everybody. All right, so for today's deep dive, I kind of wanted to take a look at the title and where it comes from. So,
Oh,
Si vis pacem para bellum.
we're learning Latin today?
We're not really the language itself, but kind of the origins of this phrase.
Okay.
Uh,
Can we take a guess at what it means? Because I have no idea. I didn't look it up.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you think it means?
All right. So hold on. So C, that's Spanish for if. V, this, that's like vis-a-vis, right? So that's some French shit. So that's gonna be if through, let's see, pacem. If through speed, sorta, bellum, vampire. No, wait. Brain.
So, do you remember what
Actually-
Cassius Belli so Bellum and like has the term Casus Belli or Belli?
Yeah,
or however
that's
you want to pronounce
multiple Casus Bellums. Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Hold on.
which
Does
is
Rob not get the guess?
Okay.
Actually,
Well,
I
think
know
he
what it
knows.
means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I was
Bellum is
100%
war.
correct, right? Like I was right.
So
Oh yeah, so close.
The translated, it means if you want peace, prepare for war.
Yeah, that's what I said.
The phrase is adapted from a statement found in Roman author Publius Flavius Vegetitus Renatus's tract
Man,
De
you're
Re
not al-
Militari.
You're not allowed to say Latin names without doing the like Russell Crowe. My name is Maximus Decimus, like or Floridius, Floridius, or whatever.
So apparently, like the actual original phrasing of it was, "Therefore, let him who desires peace prepare for war." The idea is it conveys also appears in earlier works like Plato's Nomoi, which is laws. The phrase basically is saying, the conditions of peace are often preserved by readiness to make war, defend the peace when the need arises. The adage has kind of almost become a living thing over time, with different historical figures using it in different contexts and kind of changing things over time. Such as actually George Washington, in his first annual address to a joint session of Congress, stated, "To be prepared for war is one of the most effectual means of preserving peace." But there's been lots of other examples of very similar things.
I hate humans.
Yeah. Historian, let's see, Louis Antoine Fauvelet de Bourrion, I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it sounded French enough for it, had made reference to the foreign policy of Napoleon Bonaparte, stating, had Bonaparte been a Latin scholar, he probably would have reversed it and said, "Si vis bellum para pacem." So, if you want war, prepare for peace. Also,
Why does that make any sense?
because he likes war, basically. He's a
But what does
warrior.
prepare for peace mean in that context?
It means he likes war. Shut up.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It's not like I have a degree in this shit. It's fine.
No, yeah, exactly.
Fucking
That's
French
dumb.
people.
In the United States, the National Arbitration and Peace Congress of 1907, presided over by Andrew Carnegie, had said, "These vast armaments on land and water are being defended as a means, not to wage war, but to prevent war. There is a safer way. It requires only the consent and the goodwill of the governments. Today they say, if you want peace, prepare for war. This Congress says in behalf of the people, si vis pacem para pactum. If you want peace, agree to keep the peace." Which I thought was an interesting twist on it. Also, in Imperial Germany, they
famously peace-loving Imperial Germany.
they more adhered to si vis pacem fac bellum, which is if you want peace, make war. Imperial Germany went to war in 1914 and was there was a German Jewish pacifist who spoke on it at the time. The 1918 Richard Grelling wrote that this time, as an expatriate in Switzerland, citing "The world must be safe for democracy," speech done by Woodrow Wilson, basically said, "When all other means fail, the liberation of the world from military domination can, in the extreme case, only take place by a battle." So they kind of changed it around to, in place of the original saying, a similarly sounding principle, si vis pacem fac bellum. which is the if you want peace, make war. But anyway, lots of different kind of places have or historical figures through have quoted it. But it also really manifests itself, the idea of it and the thought of it does manifest itself through modern politics even. You know, peace through strength is a phrase that suggests, you know, military power can help preserve peace, and has been espoused by figures from Roman Emperor Hadrian to the former, you know, U.S. President Ronald Reagan in the 80s.
Yep.
Yep. And the whole concept itself has been associated with realpolitik.
Yep.
Yep. So there's of course critics to this idea. As you might imagine, there's kind of peace through strength easily enough becomes peace through war. Is the often espoused idea to this, in opposition of this peace through strength idea. Also, there it kind of leaks into what's been referred to as kind of the modern security dilemma. Are you familiar with this? Have you ever heard of it?
I am 100% familiar, but yeah, go ahead and explain it.
So the term security dilemma was first coined by a German author in 1950. But basically, it referred to it as
he was like, I'm pretty sure I remember which German author it was, and he was basically like, you know, the world's kind of getting into this weird Cold War thing that kind of sucks.
Yeah, John H. Hertz, it was.
Yep.
But at the same time, also, I guess there's a British historian, Herbert Butterfield, who described the same situation in his History and Human Relations, but referred to it as the absolute predicament and irreducible dilemma. The security dilemma is basically it states when the increase in one state's security, such as increasing its military strength, leads other states to feel for their own security because they do not know if the security increasing state intends to use its growing military for offensive purposes. Consequently, security increasing measures can lead to tensions, escalation of conflict with one or more other parties, producing an outcome which no party truly desires, a political instance of the prisoner's dilemma. But it's basically this idea of peace through preparing for war is if your neighbor's building up their military, you're then going to build up your military, which is going to cause them to build up their military even more, and you kind of have this escalating thing that can blow up at any point. So
may I discuss?
By all means.
The primary issue with this in the modern age is that the idea of, from, you know, thinking about it from like the Roman time period, like there wasn't a difference between military power that was defensive and military power that was offensive back when everyone was throwing spears, shooting arrows, and stabbing each other, right? Mm-hmm. Because, like, you had to be right next to each other in order to actually affect military conquest, all right?
Right.
As we got into the Cold War, that started to shift, and the idea of global insertion became a thing, right? So, nowadays, it is actually, like, the concept of walk softly, carry a big stick, as Ronald Reagan put it, is not as these philosophers, especially back in the 50s, like that guy in the 50s, but also like much earlier, were trying to suggest that, like, well, you know, there's always going to be bad actors around you. So you need to have a strong military to secure your interests. Okay. Mm-hmm. And when we're in the Roman times, and even when we're in like World War I, World War II era, like that is a reasonable argument. I'm not saying it's the best solution, but it is a reasonable argument. But in today's society, that argument kind of falls apart because we have very distinct differences between a military that is capable of defending a nation very effectively and a military that is capable of offensively attacking any nation on the planet. And those abilities are not overlapping. An ICBM does not protect America. It attacks another country. Mm-hmm. And so now you start getting into these areas where it's like, well, yes, you can have a big military. Having a National Guard is not necessarily ethically or morally unjustified. But having a nuclear arsenal that is capable of wiping a city or a country to glass from across the world, that's not a defensive military capability. That is by definition an offensive military capability. And that's not what CV Pacem Parabellum was supposed to mean.
Right. Also, like, you're not even, like, you're making the difference between defensive and offensive, not even touching on the fact of the wide-ranging effects of a nuclear war would have across the world in general.
Sure, like, but even dismiss it. Like, let's just say there's no nukes in the planet at all. Having an ICBM that's even just like just a conventional weapon warhead. Sure. Or any kind of like submarine, like hanging out in the Persian Gulf and launching missiles at Iran. Like, these are not defensive capabilities. And back when this Latin phrase got coined, there was no distinction between a defensive military capability and an offensive military capability. Beyond like infrastructural. Like, a wall is obviously defensive and a catapult is kind of offensive. Like, okay, sure, but like, military spending and buildup wise, there's not really a difference there. But today there is a distinct difference. And it's weird that, like, the funny part is that these fucking warmongers that have been in charge of these countries for the last 60 years have in some ways illegalized defensive military measures. It is no longer like the U.S. signed treaties that said we would not come up with nuclear defensive capabilities, for example.
Right.
You know, and so like it's so funny that these fucking assholes are using this expression to justify building things that are designed to destroy people thousands of miles from us, when that is not what this expression was ever supposed to mean.
You know, a good example of what it actually means but failed miserably is?
What's that?
The Maginot Line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the Maginot Line was never supposed to be. Well, the Maginot Line, I don't necessarily agree, because that's the between France and Germany, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The Maginot Line was not deterrent in the same way that, like, mutually assured destruction and stuff was. I think France genuinely was worried about, like, Germany attacking them. And until World War I, like, that's how shit happened, right? We just went to war all the goddamn time. So I think the Maginot Line was distinctly defensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a good example of what this actually means, not necessarily working out.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
So, yep. We live in a scary place.
Yeah, and like it's the other thing too is, like, you have to remember that this is all complete nonsense anyways, because there are plenty of nations in this world that have very, very little military budgets, but have seen nothing but peace for the last 100 years. You know? And, like, not necessarily like they're some kind of, like, ethical beacon. Don't get me wrong. All nations do shitty things. But, like, you don't have to be a military superpower to be peaceful. And in fact, the evidence seems to show that the countries that have the least amount of peace tend to be the ones that are most militarized, because they're the ones who feel like they got to wave their fucking dicks around. America hasn't known peace for 40 years. We've been fighting somebody somewhere pretty much nonstop for the last 40 years. You know?
Got to sell them guns, buddy.
Right. But, like, of course, the peace that they're talking about is the fact that I can sit in my living room and enjoy, Thursday night football and not be worried about getting bombed.
Sure.
Fucking hell.
So, that was just a lovely little wander into to Stanford's major in college.
Woo! Oh man, we should do a whole thing on game theory, talk about security dilemma shit.
Yeah, I did when my research look at things about game theory as well as big stick ideology and all that stuff, but I didn't want to ramble on for too long. Brinksmanship and everything.
Big stick ideology is one of, like, my points of order when it comes to, like, maybe Starfleet aren't the good guys, because it's like it's real easy to be like, well, we're just a third party who's interested in maintaining peace. You have a vessel that can glass the planet. Like, you're already coming on kind of strong, even if you're like, no, we come in peace. Like, I kind of understand what the Klingons mean in this show. Like,
Well, there is the fact that, like, I mean, they probably don't consider it because this Star Trek isn't true, like, hard science fiction. But the amount of energy you need to, like, actually surpass, I mean, even to meet light speed travel, it's so high. Like, you would need so much power, especially to move a massive vessel the size of, like, anything we see in Starfleet. Like, with that power, you already have the ability to glass worlds, even without, weapons that could do it.
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Well, when we come back, we'll do a little potpourri.
Welcome back, everybody. For Potpourri this week, we are going to do a little true or false game about Doug Jones, the actor who portrays Saru.
Oh.
I'm going to list a number of films that he has taken a part in, along with a part, and then you have to tell me true or false if he did play that part in that movie.
Okay.
Fuck, okay.
Is this like a first to the buzzer, or are you going back and forth, or what?
No, I'll take answers from both of you, and then you just let me know what you think it is.
Okay.
And we'll tally them all up and score at the end.
I don't know that I've seen him in any movie, so this is going to be awful.
I know he's done other things, and he was actually in something very, very close to before he did Discovery too. So
there's only one of these that I know none of us have ever seen because I didn't even know it existed, and it's in a fandom that I know a lot about.
interesting.
Yeah. All right.
It's some
Batman-
Zelda porn.
No. Batman Returns. All right. He
Which?
played the
Ooh,
part-
sorry. Hold on. Which one is Batman Returns? Is that the second Michael Keaton one?
Yes.
Okay, I think I've seen that
Right.
once.
Okay. True or false? Did Doug Jones play the Thin Clown, one of the Red Triangle gang of carnies?
His face kind of looks like he could be a good clown, good scary clown. So I'm gonna go with yes, true.
I don't remember it all, so I'm gonna say false just to keep it interesting. But also, like, was he old enough? Because Batman Returns is what, like 89?
He's not young.
No, I guess he's not that
He's
young. Yeah.
It is true. He
Yeah,
played the
wow.
Thin Clown. The Red
That's
Triangle
hilarious.
The
Yeah.
Thin Clown is the worst
Thin Clown.
credit to ever have.
Gang. Dude, some of these are like they get weird. But anyway, like this next one, for example, Hocus Pocus. You guys have seen this movie, right? Classic Halloween movie.
Sure, once.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
a long time ago.
So true or false? He played Winifred's husband, one of the witches that she raises from the grave to chase after the kids.
That wasn't him.
I'm gonna say false.
I'm gonna
false.
say false.
False. We're gonna go false.
This is true.
Wow.
And
What?
yeah, apparently he reprised his role in like the recent
Yeah.
remake, but like the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that
Oh
was
my gosh.
Doug Jones.
Damn it, honey.
I like how you both are just like, oh, yeah, Mariah's gonna know this.
She's seen that movie more than I have.
Yeah.
I gotta go find Tucker.
Dude.
He would know.
I feel like I used to watch that movie. Do you remember? Was it like TNT or TBS that had
And
like
it
the
came on
31
some
Days of
channel
Halloween?
all the time.
It was probably TBS.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, TNT was the man's network. Come on, man.
Yeah. All right. Mystery Men. Did he play Spleen, a newbie superhero whose
False.
farts made his enemies faint?
False, I guess.
Yeah, that's the hold on. It's the guy who does all the sound, he does a lot of voices for The Simpsons. His name is
Oh, yeah, what are you talking about?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Nope, that's the Blue Raja. However, the Spleen guy is like semi-Asian. What is that guy's name too? I forget that guy's.
I don't think that he is. It's Paul Rubens played Spleen. He's the dude who plays Pee Wee Herman.
That's
Oh.
it. Yeah, that's right. He's Pee Wee Herman. That's
It's
right.
not semi-Asian. What the fuck?
The character's eyes are very almond shaped.
This is getting weirdly racist all of a sudden.
It is, yeah. God, fuck. I've seen Mystery Men like 30 times. I love that movie.
All right. Men in Black.
Did you
2.
know? Oh my God. Did you know that Mystery Men is where the song All Star was originally written? Like, that's what that song was written for.
What?
Yes.
Are you for real?
I am
crazy.
100% serious that Smash Mouth wrote All Star for Mystery Men. And that song became so much more popular than that movie ever was.
That's hilarious. I don't think I've ever
That's
seen
so
that movie.
weird.
It's kind of its time at this point, but it's a good movie. Like it's fun. It's got like William H. Macy, Ben Stiller's in it. Like there's a bunch of big actors in it.
Interesting.
Oh, I guess I should tell you who he did play. He played Pencilhead.
Yeah, that tracks.
Who the fuck is Pencil?
He looks like he could be a guy named Pencilhead.
All right. Men in Black 2. Did he play Joey, the alien mailroom attendant?
Yes.
Yes.
True.
Oh my God, he did. Holy fuck.
Uh-huh. Yep, he did.
Yep. I remember that. Yeah, I remember even that. Like, if you had told me like what his name was at the time, I'd be like, who the fuck is that? But like knowing what he looks like now and thinking back, I'm like, yeah, that is him.
Yeah. Huh.
The Time Machine. This is a 2002 remake. Did he play Dr. Alexander Hartigan, a professor who turns time traveler?
Man, I saw that movie once
false.
in the theater. I'm gonna go with false. No, he's not. He's gonna play one of the Eloy.
What'd you say, Chris?
I said false.
Right, you were both correct. He did play the spy Morlock.
Oh, he's a Morlock. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Hartigan was played by
Dr.
Guy
Sweater.
Pearce.
Guy
Do you
Pearce.
remember
Yeah.
do you remember Iron Man 3? Do you remember Aldrich Killian, like the sleazy business competitor for
Yeah.
Tony?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's who actually plays Dr.
Yes,
Hartigan.
yeah. No, as soon as you said that it was the time traveler himself, I'm like, there's no way, because that was.
Yeah.
I get him and honey, who was the guy that was in the Moon Knight show? He was the antagonist in the Moon Knight show.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Because I get him and Guy Pearce mixed up all the time. It's not Christian Slater. Who the fuck is that guy?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it Christian Slater? Okay. I get Guy Pearce and Christian Slater mixed up because they look kind of similar in my head.
That's funny. All right. Pan's Labyrinth. Did he play the Pale Man, a child-eating monster?
Yes.
He did.
I recognize those hands anywhere, man.
Yeah. Even with the makeup on, like, I'm like, yeah, that's his face.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. So that is not.
Oh, the only one I've seen.
Oh, you have seen this.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize until I was looking at these. Chris Evans was in this movie. He played
Yeah.
the Flame.
Yeah.
Did you
Really?
not
The
see
Human Torch,
Deadpool
yeah.
3?
I did not. No.
Oh.
Have you seen any of the Deadpool movies?
No. After we were talking about it the other day, I want to watch them with Kelsey.
Yeah, you need to watch all of them. And yes, you do need to watch Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
I will stop talking now.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
So did he play the Silver Surfer?
Wow, boy. So this is a trick question because the Silver Surfer was entirely CGI. Now, did he mocap for the Silver Surfer? I'm going to say true. He's got that kind of build.
I want to say true.
You're both correct. So Silver Surfer was voiced by Lawrence Fishburne, but all of the physical acting was done by Doug Jones.
Interesting.
I did not
All right,
know
this is the
Lawrence
weird
Fishburne.
one. The extremely famous Star Wars fan film Han Solo: A Smuggler's Trade.
Oh my god.
Did he play Han Solo?
What? What year did this come out?
I don't
False.
I'm gonna say false.
He played Chewbacca, didn't he?
You are both correct. He did not play Chewbacca.
That was
Because
a
he's
good
guess
he's got
too,
like
yeah.
the same build as Peter Mayhew. Yeah.
Yeah. He plays Gyorsho, the slaver that Han rescues Chewie from.
Huh.
The funny thing is, Rob was probably like, "Oh shit, was he your show? Oh my god!" Because like, I don't know who the fuck that is, man. You could have said any syllables.
All right. In The Bye Bye Man, did he play the Bye Bye Man, an urban legend horror villain?
I'm gonna say true just because I don't fucking know what the fuck that is.
Fuck yeah, true.
It's true. Apparently, this movie was really horrible, and I feel kind of bad for him.
I mean, it's called The Bye Bye Man, so I mean,
Yeah. All right. Last one. Nosferatu. This is the 2023 remake.
he
Did
does
he-
have a Nosferatu face.
Did he play Thomas Hutter, a real estate agent modeled after Jonathan Harker from the original Bram Stoker's Dracula?
I'm gonna say, I don't know. What are you saying, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen this. If you were gonna say that, if you would have said it like, did he play Nosferatu? I'd be like, fuck yeah, he looks like a Nosferatu.
Right,
Uh,
right. All right, look, I'm gonna say true. You go with false, and that way we can either tie it up or you can win.
Yeah, fine, false.
It is false. He did, in fact, play Count Orlok the vampire.
Oh,
Nice.
see,
Nice. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree. Your reasoning is 100% correct. I just didn't think it'd be exciting if we were just like, I was like, well, at least go for the Hail Mary. Maybe.
yeah,
like-
yeah, that's fair. That's
Yep.
fair.
Yep, he played
Alright.
Count Orlok. All right. So, yeah, with a final score of 7-9, Chris wins. So,
Woo!
congratulations.
Again
Chris.
with the
Also,
the,
yes,
the
like
low
why?
number first.
What are you doing?
It's funny because like Liam he'll be like, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow from 5 to 2. And
What?
he needs from 2 to 5 or whatever, but he always does the bigger number first. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
That's so funny.
Or like, we'll be leaving like I don't know, like 12 or 11:30. Like, what? No, like 11:30 or 12.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would drive me nuts. That would drive me nuts.
Well, as Chris mentioned at the top of the pod, thank you for listening. If you like what you hear, please remember to rate, review, like, subscribe, tell your friends about us. It's really the only way that we've got to get use the podcast out at this point. I don't think we're advertising, are we?
No.
No, okay. So yeah, please spread the word. And thanks for joining us again for another week of Captain's Log Supplemental. We'll see you next time.
That was good, Rob. That was a good one.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Captain's Log Supplemental. You can follow us on Twitter at PodCLS or send us hate mail at podcls3@gmail.com.